Tips on getting a commercial drone type bass line. Classic example, Eric Prydz, Call on Me. Cliche, I know. Yeah, so first thing I would say is just use a synth and press the key. Yeah, and you've got a drone bass line. If you're really zeroed in on a specific sound, I would always... You're definitely asking the wrong person about that, because I'm like, yeah, that's just not what I do. This isn't the right place for that, because I actually severely question that. Here's how to make a bass sound that sounds like this, because it's just so anti-creative. It's like it's the opposite of creative. Yeah. So the answer to that, I'm afraid, John, is no. I'm sure there's absolutely loads of YouTube tutorials out for that, and I hate to send people to that kind of rabbit hole. But what I would recommend, John, is like I would like to ask you, if I was having a conversation with you, is why do you want to do that? What's the reason? Because I'm not sure that is where you're going to find your best music. Now, there is an argument for, and I have actually taken a piece of music that I'm kind of obsessed with, yeah, and I have literally tried to copy it as a training tool for myself. But, and this is a huge but, which goes to the very core of your question, I haven't tried to copy it by going and asking people, how do you make a sound like that? Because that then negates the value of copying it. And by the way, when I say copying it, I do not put it out. I'm not copying it to release it. I'm copying it simply as a way of training myself. Yeah. So I did it. Yeah. I mean, I did it a few times, kind of early on. In copying it, what I do is I actually try and work out how I can figure out how to make that sound without knowing any information. Because when I did this, there wasn't an internet. Well, I mean, there was, but there wasn't any information about how to do stuff. You just had to figure it out, right? So I actually had to figure it out with the equipment I had. Yeah. And that was the training. That was it's like, how could I actually do this? I mean, and this was without knowing anything really about, because this was very early on, knowing anything about, I mean, I only just knew how to plug in the MIDI and stuff like that. So I actually tried to recreate the sound myself by doing it my way. And through doing that, I actually discovered other stuff that was even better for me anyway than the thing I was trying to copy. I mean, I never got it to sound exactly like that. Why do you want to get to sound exactly like that? Yeah, because what you're likely to do if you're thinking along those lines, I'm not saying you are, but you could end up making a bad version of something that is already really good. Okay, so there's a few issues in your question that I would really like sincerely ask you, deeply ask you to ask yourself why you want to do that.